Hello, and welcome back to the Corp. Now, I'm going to do a thing about the 45 years of the moon landings. Now, I'm going to, well, not sheet, but I'm going to use an extra. As you will probably know, 45 years ago, on the 16th of July, I'm recording on the 17th, so yesterday, 45 years ago, 4 men set out for the moon. It was a 4-day journey from memory. What I can remember, not working. When they got there, you'll probably know they planted the American flag, which moved, and many conspiracy theorists believe this is because they filmed it in a studio, and that's sort of what this video is going to be about. There were quite a few theories, there's hundreds in fact. One relatively common one is, a fairly common one is that well, the flag moved. That's just from when it was placed in the ground. They turned the pole to move it into the ground, as you would assume you do on Earth. If you do on Earth, kill it in so it won't fall over. This is perfectly okay thing to do. But of course, conspiracy theorists, whilst good, think we've been proven wrong about aliens and all that rubbish, they haven't got a lot to do. So they assumed that this was because of wind, and they filmed it in a studio. A couple of things to have with this. Right, America, you may know, in the US there are many massive Zeppelin hangars and very large aircraft hangars used for B-52s and very large aircraft and U-2s and space shuttle, the 747 space shuttle transport plane. So they have access to very large facilities to hoax such a place. They certainly could get away with doing it, and certainly they're capable. However, a few issues with the theory. One, if they had done that, would they really have been stupid enough to show the one where the wind came through the hangar? Probably not. So that sort of doesn't make a lot of sense, and so it all seems a bit stupid anyway. And also it's because there's no friction in space. It's a vacuum. No, that's right. It's a vacuum that's designed to do. I have just cut down on the mods, that's why there's only 2 launch sites from my previous video. I just cut it down for stability video. And that's the only, it just moved for longer than you would think it should. But it's a perfectly normal thing. So but basically what it said is that's complete rubbish. Any of you who watch Mythbusters will know, because Mythbusters tested that quite heavily in fact, and it proved that what they were wrong about was complete rubbish. Another one that Mythbusters tested was of a picture which showed I believe Neil Armstrong getting out of the capsule, walking down the ladder backwards. There's a picture where they're getting off on the dark side of the capsule. The sun's the other side, but appears to be illuminated. Two things for this. I think lunar dust is 90% reflective or something stupid like that. Quite a high reflective index, which means that the sun rays will reflect onto them anyway, and it's white. White shows up anyway, so that one was complete bogus as well. Not really being very surprised. Now another one is a picture of the two of them. There's a picture of where they're both looking at each other, and on the reflection you can't see the astronaut. I can't remember which one it is. Either Armstrong taking a picture. I think it was Armstrong taking a picture of taking a picture, and in reflection of the visor, you could not see him holding the camera. Now this is very sensible. One, they didn't have the camera like a disposable camera. They had it wasn't like that. It was mounted on the chest, which makes sense. You can't drop it if it's on your chest. The other one is they slowed down time to make enact the lower gravity. This one's not as stupid as it seems. It isn't as stupid, but it still doesn't work. It didn't look right. There's a couple of the boot print. People were saying that being done in on moist ground. Now that's not true, because it's so dry. There's no wind or anything. The boot press on the floor is enough for it to stay there in a sort of a cake-like way. But yeah, there have been many hoaxes. There's many reasons that people say it's a hoax. The other thing you can prove it's not a hoax, you would have found out it's a hoax. America haven't got a great track record of keeping secrets. Really, you know, there've been quite a few scandals about where presidents' penises have been and who they've been sleeping with. So the people thinking that they'll be able to keep the moon landings a secret from thousands upon thousands of people, is complete bollocks, really. And so it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's just complete rubbish. And anyone that actually truly believes, but that's true, needs to be sorted out, because, geez, you need help. Now, as you can, now I'm just going to show you sort of what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it. What you do is you go round until you see the moon on the horizon, and when you're playing KSP, when you see the moon on the horizon, you accelerate. So you can wait for it to come round. We're equatorial, so it'll pop up just beyond the horizon, and then you start burning, and that will give you the perfect node to go to the moon, sorry. Technically it's still moon, so see there, and then go, then slowly move it towards prograde. It's going to really matter that I'm a bit slow, but but basically there's a lot of rubbish, and they wouldn't have been able to keep it a secret for as long as they have if it was indeed a hoax, which it isn't. And the most damning piece of evidence is Russia. Now, as you will know, Russia never sent anyone to the moon, because after the moon landings, go away sky. The space race ended because Americans won effectively. That was the final frontier at the time. That was it. You couldn't do. You couldn't. You couldn't do anything else at the time. The technology just wasn't possible. But Russia did send a probe or two, I think, to the moon. I think they sent a probe to the moon. But they sent the probe before America sent a man, because it was easier, cheaper, massively cheaper, and a hell of a lot easier to send a probe, because you're going to have life support. So the rocket can be a hell of a lot smaller than the Saturn V that took the men to the moon in the Apollo missions. Now, anyone that knows about the moon landings will know that this is not how they did it. They had a command module, which one of them stayed at the three-man crew. One stayed at the command module orbiting, and the other two took the landing capsule down. I haven't done that mainly because, well, I'm not very good at docking, and I really don't want to try now. See, what I'm going to do is, and also I'm probably not going to do what they did as well, because they came down only in a certain shadow, so but when they were coming down over the surface, they could see their shadow to gauge height, and that sort of stuff in the terrain in front. I'm not going to do that because I'm third person, but if you want to hear more about the technical, I think Scott Manley did quite a realistic one last year, I think, probably for the 44 year anniversary, something like that. He did it now. Anyway, on the idea of Russia, Russia would have said something. They would have said, you didn't go to the moon, because they would have known. For sure, Russia would have known that America didn't go, because both were just as bad as each other. I'm not taking sides. Both were as bad as each other, and both of them kept an eye on each other. And they would have known that no craft went to the moon. No American craft went to the moon. So the fact that Russia hasn't said anything, it sort of states that America went. And that is that's the most damning proof, I think, personally, for America going to the moon. It's the fact that Russia's not said anything. 45 years, I think they probably would have said something by now. And I think that's just, it's like with UFOs. On the way to the moon, there was a report that they saw a sort of a glinting object outside the spacecraft. Now, obviously, rarely only spacecraft from Earth, and so people assumed it was an alien. Now, in the official log reports, from that evidence, that is quite a fair point to make. However, if you read it relatively properly, I've made a balls up for this, but oh well. Needs must. If you read it, oh shit, I've still got loads of fuel in this thing. Right, I've dumped that, and then I can burn upwards and make it go a little bit further. Lovely. Hopefully. That's bearish. Yeah, a little bit further. There we go. Right. Want you to be able to see it. So that sort of is enough evidence personally for me to say the least, really. The fact that Russia hasn't said anything after this time sort of, states that America probably went. Now, I don't really want to land, so I'm just going to retrograde burn. Not too much. Yeah, so I think really anyone that's calling it a hoax is just give up. Like with aliens, no, aliens have not come here. There's two big reasons for this. One, the sheer just size, the vastness of space is impossibly big. Massively improbably big. No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing by any means. It's a very interesting thing. It's constantly expanding. It's infinite. Now, I'm currently reading the series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now, this is quite a famous book. And in there, it comments on this. Now, actually, in the second book, the fact that it's massively huge and infinitely large is used to it is a way of killing someone effectively, because there's a machine that's developed in the book that shows someone inside the machine the sheer size of the universe, and shows you on an invisible spot, and has a little label saying you are here. Now, nothing can comprehend that. So the fact that it's that big, and the fact we know it's at least 1 to 8 chance of having life, taking our own solar system as an example, we can prove that theoretically the nearest people are going to be several light years away from us at least. And given the fact that it's taken several decades for a probe to be sent out to leave the sun's gravitational pull, so leave the solar system, and we're quite, as a planet, we're not massively old compared to some scales, obviously, but we're not young. It's not like we've been on the planet for a couple of days. Okay, that's not true. If you take the entire lifespan of Earth to be a day or something, we've been on here 4 seconds or something stupid. We haven't been here a long time, but we haven't been here a short time. We've been here for a few million years, and the fact that we can send a probe to Mars and land it, and we can get a probe to leave, states that it's improbable, not impossible, for another planet's life form to find us, because they'd have to know that we existed. They'd have to have set off a while ago. Now, some of the planets that have been found that could harbour life, they would have to have left when there were dinosaurs here for them to arrive now. In some cases, well before dinosaurs. Now, I'm going to get Jeb out, obviously. No. Now, somewhere on the moon there is actually a memorial to Neil Armstrong on Kersby. I don't actually know where it is. I will try and find it at some point. Now, this is being slightly ranty, but now, There have been reports of there have been ideas that people might go to the moon again, and that is certainly something that has been considered, I'm sure, by NASA and the Russian Space Agency, in fact the European Space Agency, the Indian Space Agency, all these, there's a lot of them. Now, yes, this is being considered, but what people have been saying is they could use the moon as a base to go to Mars. There is a way you could harvest fuel, which means you could leave with a slightly smaller rocket, and effectively spend less money, because you wouldn't actually have to get all the fuel from Earth, which is a plus side. Also, you wouldn't burn as much fuel. Which is a nice thing sometimes to do. Now, keep going. Now, it's going to be quite a suicide burning. If this was real life, you wouldn't be doing this. But I haven't got deadly re-entry on, so it's fine. I can carry on and do this. Now, this is one of those things you can see down here. Even this little manoeuvre, which isn't a massive length manoeuvre, is 18 minutes away. Well, that's quite long. That's sort of the average video. 20 minutes is sort of quite an average video length. So you would think, well, that seems. So this is quite a long journey. They've been here. I can't really see because my recording thing's in the way. They've been here a while. Let's say. Now let's guide this thing in. Well, there we go. That'll do. No need to overkill it. How much fuel have I got left? Yeah, a little bit, not too much. Good. Don't want to land with too much fuel because things don't go well when you land with too much fuel. Now, I don't want to go in too quick because something glitched with time warp at the moment. If mean 21 map being a time warp, you can actually go through a planet. Look, which isn't great. Now, what we could do is we could use this extra bit of fuel to burn now, but it would be pointless. So, because we're about to go into a very thick atmosphere, and that'll do the job more than well. Now, what I could do is we could sort of land in mountains at the moment. I'm going to release the parachutes, and now I'm going to burn now. While under quite heavy acceleration, burn now, so don't land on the mountains. Leave a little bit of fuel. Now, as you can see, slowing down quite quickly, but you should land just about. You should land just short of the mountains if I look to it. Now, obviously the fellow astronauts, all of them, had a very difficult job of the Apollo 13, didn't make it. Because of technical issues, it was 99.9% reliable. And even with that, they're expecting so many thousand parts to fail, or something like that. Which is a lot. 1,000 odd parts on the machine is quite a lot. And, remember, there were some quite bad failures before manned missions started. Very large failures, in fact. And so certain things aren't generally, but I think I'm